Welcome back, everybody. The NBA draft is upon us here in November. A little weird, but hey, it's 2020. Everything's just all fucked. But hey, at least we have an NBA draft. The NBA season's next month, starting back all real quick. We got some big trades that's already happened. We're going to talk about those too. But Eric, take it away.
Yeah, so I just want to start off, for those of you listeners, we have a group message that we text pretty much every week, and we tell each other coming up with our topics and ideas. So I was like, I'm going to go over the NBA 2020 draft. It's Wednesday night. It'll be perfect because we do Tuesday recordings, and the free agent market opens Friday. It's going to be great. And then I see Monday morning Chris Paul gets traded because the free agent market opened yesterday. So we do the facts, guys. As you know, we do the facts. So yeah, the free agent market opened yesterday, not Friday. But let's go over the draft first. It will take place tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. The number one pick will be from the Minnesota Timberwolves, I believe. It will be this guy, Anthony Edwards, who played at Georgia. There's a sports science company called P3 based out of Santa Barbara. And they just announced that from their measurements, he produced the most force via accelerations of any athlete they've ever measured. They almost measure the whole league of athletes, or pretty much anyone they can get their hands on. Probably didn't do LeBron and other guys, but they do have some other big name NBA guys, the Westbrooks and guys like that. But of all the athletes they measured, he had the highest acceleration forces. In other words, he could be one of the most explosive players off the ball. I think that he'll fit in well with the Timberwolves. They're saying that he could fit in that system with D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns. Number 2 pick goes to the Golden State Warriors, Traden's favorite basketball team, apparently. I think they will draft, drumroll, LaMelo Ball from Chino Hills. He didn't go to college. He was playing in the Latvian Pro League. But I think he's going to go to the Warriors. He had a private workout with him. And actually, they were set on that dude, James Wiseman, who's a big man center, because they need a center as well. But apparently, he impressed a lot of the players, including the front office as well. Supposed to be the best ball player, no pun intended, but he's got the most versatile set of skills of the 3 ball brothers. I mean, one of them is terrible. He's not in the league. The other one is not that good. He got traded from the Lakers. So hopefully this guy does well. I just think his dad just needs to keep his fucking mouth shut, let him play, because that was an issue with Lonzo. But, hey, if he goes to the Warriors, I'd love for his dad to just speak all the time and just ruin their organization. That'd be great, too.
So I think you're wrong about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure James Wiseman is going to go to Golden State. I don't get why the Warriors would pick up a point guard.
When
you don't need a point guard. You
don't need him.
They have this guy, Steph Curry.
But you need a center.
And how are you going to pass up the best center? They'll just turn Draymond into a center, dude. Screw the Warriors. Fuck them.
Yeah, Draymond's on his way out of there, by the way. It's going to be Steph
he might be.
and Clay, and those two are going to run it. You don't need another point guard. You don't need another ball-handling small guy. You need somebody who can rebound for all the missed shots.
True.
And James Wiseman compares to Andre.
That's true. I feel though, they may have some tricks up their sleeve. They could draft LaMelo Ball and trade him for a big guy to another team that needs a point guard like him.
You would want to draft somebody low for salary cap reasons. You draft somebody low and then trade that person for somebody with a high salary cap number.
NBA teams do that all the time.
As possible.
Yeah, true. Or let's play devil's advocate. I think that the Warriors are one of the best organizations of developing guys. They drafted Curry, Klay Thompson, and developed 3 of them. They could do that with LaMelo Ball. Draft him, have Steph Curry mentor him, develop him. But like you said,
and then when is he going to play? Because Steph Curry
as soon as possible
with the Warriors. He's not going anywhere else, man.
He's going to play once everywhere opens back up and the world is normal again. So never. Let's go to the 3rd pick, Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets, to me, I think they're going to pick James Wiseman. We just talked about him. He played at Memphis, big man. I think he'd be kind of a good fit with that guy, Terry Rozier, a.k.a. Scary Terry. Who else do the Hornets even have? I don't know. You don't see a lot of them. They don't have a lot of attention. They kind of been that team. They're like the Philly Flyers of hockey before they made the playoffs this year. Like they've been on the playoff bubble, like missing the playoffs by a game or two the last few seasons. They can use a spark. Maybe they draft this dude Wiseman, use him as trade bait with another team that needs a big man like the Warriors. Who knows? And they can get maybe I don't know, who knows, Draymond Green to the Hornets. You might have heard it here first. I don't know if that helps them or not. Maybe it makes them worse. Let's go to pick number 4, Chicago Bulls. I'm going to get crazy here. I think they're going to draft this dude, Killian Hayes. He's from the German Pro League. He's a lefty point guard. Yeah, James, it's okay. Let me explain him. He's a lefty point guard, swift and crafty. And he has those signs of a true point guard. And the big giveaway factor, he doesn't have a good jump shot, so he's more of a pass-first point guard. I think with the Bulls, that'll fit very well with that rising superstar Zach LaVine, who fucking made the Clippers look like a joke last year. He was one of the many guys. But I think he'd be a good piece to that team, the Bulls. I mean, this is just me being crazy, looking for, an outlier pick that no one thinks is going to happen. So we'll see what happens there. And then I'm going to go the number 5 pick, which is the Cleveland Cavs. Will pick Isaac Okoro, this dude from Auburn, a power forward. Not the best offensive player, but he is an elite defender. The Cavs definitely need elite defense. They need everything, but they have the point guard. I don't remember his fucking name. It's a guy they drafted.
Colin Sexton.
Yes, Sexton. He's a pretty solid player. He's coming into his own, good point guard offensively. They need some defense around him. Apparently this guy has one of the biggest wingspans in the draft, but he is also just a solid foundation of defense that they could use, maybe make them not be a doormat team anymore. So I don't want to bore you guys just numbering off all these picks with people we don't even know and know what's going to happen. Let's get to the trades. This is the juicy stuff. First, right off the bat, Tyler, Dennis Schroeder, whatever the fuck. He's a good player, the guy with the crazy hair. He just got shipped to the Lakers. The Lakers traded a first-round pick to OKC in exchange with Schroeder. It just shows the Lakers don't like to develop people, but I guess they don't have to. They won this year, except for Caruso. He's like the only guy they've developed in a while. Rumor has it Kuzma is going to be shipped away because Schroeder's basically a better version of him. What's your take on that?
Yeah, Lakers can't draft for shit, so they're a lot better at trading and signing free agents. That just kind of seems the way that they've developed their championship teams, more based on that. Occasionally they'll have a good draft pick here and there that they develop and it comes to their system, but so trading away draft picks, I'm not so worried about. I do like Schroeder. I think he's a very good point guard, especially with the rumors that Rajon Rondo might be walking after this season. But getting rid of Danny Green a little bit kind of bothers me. I think Danny Green's a much better defender than Schroeder, so I think we lost that on defense. And I think the biggest reason why the Lakers won this year was because of their defense. So hopefully they can find some kind of replacement, or
I thought you were going to say Danny Green.
Yeah, can come up with some defense to make up for that. But I overall, I think this was a decent trade. Wasn't horrible, but wasn't great. So hopefully it works out.
Schroeder's a solid 6-man. I think he'll fit in pretty well with the Lakers. He's going to be their 6-man right off the bench, I believe. And he was up for 6-man of the year this year. He had done very well with OKC, keeping them in games. So I think it's a pretty good trade. And I agree with you. They're not the biggest drafters, so trading away a first-round pick isn't that big to them.
Yeah.
James, Chris Paul goes to the Phoenix Suns. Now is going to be playing and mentoring the already superstar Devin Booker. You covered OKC in the playoffs. You had a lot of good info on them, good things to say about CP. Does he now make the Suns a playoff squad and a doormat of Western Conference?
100% yes, definitely. You guys remember like our last NBA thing, and I was like, oh yeah, CP3 could get traded, and Alex is like, no way, he's never gonna get traded. He brought that team back. CP3 got traded, and now he's gonna do the same exact thing, but with a better squad. Devin
Yeah.
Booker, like you said, is a superstar, and they also have DeAndre Ayton. He was a first-round pick. I think he was a top 3 pick 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. But they're gonna get huge dividends from CP3. He's a good leader. He can distribute the ball well. Devin Booker is not gonna have to handle the ball. He can just spot up and shoot it, and DeAndre Ayton can run that pick and roll to perfection. This Suns team is going to compete for maybe the 4 seed in the West. I'm kind of leaving 1 through 3 to the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Warriors. But that 4 seed is up for grabs, and maybe the Suns might take it.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be way better. They are like in the bubble. I think they were undefeated. They still didn't squeeze in the playoff spot, but Booker's never been in the playoffs. He probably will make the playoffs this year. Chris Paul, Alex, when James did say that, yeah, I think Alex may have said no because we were saying he's going to go to the Bucks maybe,
Yeah,
which would have been crazy.
Well, the Bucks did get somebody too. They got Drew Holiday.
They did. We're going to get to that right now. Breaking news, Alex, I wanted to ask you, Drew Holiday and the Serbian assassin Bogdan Bogdanovic, what a name, goes to the Bucks. You can tell they're doing whatever they can to keep Giannis there. Give him another chance because this is the last year of his contract. They're trying to get him to do anything to keep this guy there, get him a championship. Do you think this helps him stay, or does he need more guys?
I mean, you've got to believe this would help him stay. Bogdanovic he's a nasty shooter. That's not what Giannis is. That's not his skill. His skill set is being a giant freak of nature who can just dunk on literally anyone. He's probably the most athletic person in the NBA other than maybe LeBron. And with Drew Holiday, that's a legit point guard, which means, Giannis the offense doesn't have to run through him anymore. Holiday can bring the ball up. The offense will run through Holiday. He will pass it. They still got Chris Middleton, who's an all-star. That Bucks team, that starting 5 is really, really nasty. We talked about it. I think we talked about it last week, how they kind of remind us of like James Harden's Rockets or like Lamar Jackson's Ravens. Like they still need to prove it. And if their depth, if they, sign some vets to some depth places, that Bucks team, they might be the pick to win it all right now.
Yeah, they're definitely a good team, and I feel like those guys are going to contribute some good, nice role players. And I agree with what you said. I think, it's like the Nets if the Nets get Harden, it's like all of a sudden you have these 3 superstars. Do they work together well? I guess Harden played with Durant, but, I feel like the Bogdanovic and Drew Holidays are a better fit to the Bucks, like make them just a team that is going to just win by teamwork, win through the system. Trading. Anthony Davis is still a free agent, I believe. Do the Lakers lock him in before the weekend, or does he chase the money now that he's won a championship?
That's tough. I mean, I would think that given the fact that everything that happened this past year in LA, it'd be hard to walk away from getting another chance at that. It sounds like LA is really good at finding talent and signing it, as opposed to, as you guys mentioned earlier, as opposed to drafting and developing within. And it's clear. I mean, they took the fairly handedly this last time around. So I don't think that I don't think that it'd be stupid for him not to look at that and say, you know what, maybe it's time for another shot, even if it means taking a little bit of a pay cut.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to see in the next few days, the NBA world's going to go crazy, especially with the draft tomorrow. But I think the Lakers still got some tricks up the sleeve to get a couple more guys to really keep him there, or maybe get somebody else that is going to like solidify him staying. Schroeder's a good pickup. I think Kuzma goes and they get someone else. Maybe they ship off a couple more guys just to, get another guy around Anthony Davis and LeBron. I mean, it's not like they really need anything else. They fucking want it. But Other trade rumors. Anyone want to chime in? Westbrook possibly to the Clippers. I guess I'll chime in first. That's a possibility. I don't really know how that would work, but if he goes to the Clippers, he's probably going to be the most hated player in the league. Because the way he plays already, like, people that don't have him on their team pretty much don't like him already. And nobody likes the Clippers. And if he goes to the Clippers, then they're really not going to like him. But who knows? Maybe it's something that helps out. I don't know. James, do you think that fits, or is that just bogus?
I think it's bogus. Westbrook has come out and said that he wants to play like he did at OKC, meaning he's a primary ball handler, scorer, and rebounder. If he goes to the Clippers, that's not going to happen. And we've seen the PG Westbrook experiment happen in OKC. It did not work. So why would he go back to that same thing and add Kawhi, who's going to have the ball probably more than he is? It's not good chemistry wise, not good systematically, not good overall.
Another place he could go, possibly the 76ers under Doc Rivers, maybe like a Simmons Westbrook swap. Alex, what do you think about that? Simmons to the Rockets, would that help them at all?
If Harden stays and Simmons is there, I don't understand how that would work at all. They're both primary ball handlers. I mean, Simmons can't shoot, which is all the Rockets do, so I don't understand how that would work. I could see the Westbrook and Embiid working much better than the Westbrook Kawhi PG situation in LA. Embiid doesn't need – he's not going to be the guy that brings the ball up the court. He's not – the offense is not going to – he's not going to set up every play. But Westbrook and Embiid could work really well together. It just all depends on how much effort Embiid wants to put in, because Russell Westbrook's going to put in 150% every single game. And Embiid, I don't think, has really proven that. I mean, if I was Westbrook, I'd rather go to Philly than to the Clippers. You get to play in a weaker conference. The East is nothing compared to the West. The Philly's pretty much already guaranteed a playoff spot. So I could see that working.
Yeah. One thing, though, Simmons, that you mentioned, he can't shoot, but he is one of the best defenders for his position. So him going to the Rockets, they're pretty terrible at defense. They don't have your favorite coach, D'Antoni, anymore either, who just doesn't believe in defense. So, maybe if Harden were to stay. But let's just cut to that. Speaking of Harden, he turned down $50 million a year for the next 2 years. So, in other words, he probably won't stay at the Rockets. And he said today he wants to go to either the Nets or the Sixers. So a Harden Embiid situation, I'd actually kind of more agree with you with the Westbrook Embiid, because Embiid doesn't give his full effort and Westbrook gives more than a full effort. Maybe that evens out with each other. But to the Nets, would that work, Tyler? Or is that just like too many superstars, too many ball hogs?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think, you've seen these super teams being built in terms of winning championships. A lot of times they seem to work. Occasionally they do not. Harden, Durant, Irving, certainly an interesting combination there. I think it could be pretty lethal if they do decide to do that. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and then we were talking about Giannis earlier. I did actually hear today it could be a possibility the Heat have a lot of cap space open. I think the NBA would just be heated, no pun intended, to see Giannis go to the Heat.
Oh, shit, that was pun intended.
Actually, it kind of just came up off of the tip of the tongue and the brain and everything. But, yeah, pun was totally intended there. It would be like a Durant going to the Warriors after they lose to them in a series, like Giannis going to the Heat after he loses them in a series. But there's a possibility Giannis goes to the Warriors too. Traden, your favorite team, the Warriors. Could they use a guy like Giannis? I would believe yes would be the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I would be pretty happy about that. I mean, I've joked around multiple times with Kylie about that, because she's huge. Obviously, they're huge Warriors fans, and I always say, hey, next year Giannis to the Warriors. Of course, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, so I'm probably talking on my ass. But I have heard a little bit of rumors that it could be the case, but that's also probably the writers over at the Warriors side just hoping, wishful thinking. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be fun, but everyone would hate him instantly. So that I don't know if I want to see him go through that.
Tampering. So you're gonna tamper him up there? Is that
yeah, for sure. But again, we see what happens to players who do that, and he'd be enemy number one to everybody in this podcast except me. So I don't really, I don't want to see him go through that because he's a good guy.
There's probably thousands more free agents that I haven't covered. Let's go back to Simmons real fast. Another rumor, he could go either Celtics or the Clippers. Him going to the Clippers might be a better fit because PG and Kawhi like to shoot the ball and he doesn't, and he plays defense. We'll see, though. Ty Lue's system is probably going to be a little different than Doc Rivers' system. Him on the Celtics, I don't know. I can't really see that happening. I feel like he's just another version of Tatum that can't shoot and is just not as good. One other guy I got, Gallinari, a possibility to the Mavericks, just to make them an all-Euro team with Porzingis, Gallinari, Doncic, Boban. James, you think Gallinari, here's another OKC guy. Does he fit in well with all those Euros at Mavericks?
I think he does because he's like a Dirk Nowitzki type player. But what I honestly think, he's going to go to the Bucks. He wants to play for a contender again. He's played a ton of years and made money. Will probably take the veterans minimum, maybe a little bit more than that, and play for somebody who could win now. I'm not saying that the Mavericks can't win now, but the Bucks certainly have an easier road to get to the championship.
Yeah, that's actually a great take right there. I didn't even think about that. It'd be interesting to see, once all these trades happen, we got to throw them up on our Instagram if we're right about any of them. We fucking predicted this the day before the draft. But, yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. That's pretty much all I got. And a lot of rumors, a lot of things about to happen. The NBA world is about to go crazy. It's already back. It's been 2 months, and it's already back.
Yeah, it's crazy how I feel like we're still celebrating the Lakers winning, and the season's about a month away. Last NBA season or off season was crazy. It felt like half the league changed teams. So it was crazy. So there's always a lot going on in the NBA.